on here this morning because I think I've done a video on this before, but I'm going to hit it again. I was reading about Gentile versus Jew, and the claims that they're making are completely nuts. And I will go through it. But supposedly, Jews think that they are different than the Gentiles, that their word comes from someone else, that they have a different, that Jews and Gentiles come from a different lineage. That's horse crap. We both believe in the Bible. We both believe the laws and the commandments and everything of the Bible. What I find utterly ridiculous is the modern interpretation of Christianity, which we claim that these pastors know what they're talking about, but nowhere in the Bible does it say to worship Easter or Christmas, and modern Christianity is pushing this. They're pushing that grace alone is going to get you saved, when clearly it doesn't, because it says the cross and the blood of Yeshua, or Jesus Christ, is the one that died for your sins. And if Jews would get their head out of their butt and realize that we worship the same person, that Jesus is throughout the Old Testament as well as the New Testament, that there is stuff in reference to Jesus being even before Abraham. And doesn't it say before Abraham I was? And I think it does. And also, was it Isaiah chapter 42 or 50? I think it's 42. But it clearly talks about how the Messiah comes, that he, and exactly the whole birth story, which is in the New Testament. And they're claiming that the Messiah has not yet come, even though all the Bible references and all the prophecies were fulfilled when Yeshua came to this world. I think that they are so humiliated and so not happy that they created this lie, because they saw him. They are the ones that caused him to be on the cross, and it's nuts. And also, they're claiming that our laws are different than theirs, when Jesus himself said that not one tittle, not one thing will be lost from the laws. The commandments and laws I follow are the 10 commandments that they follow. The laws and commandments that I follow I look at the entire Bible. I don't look at just the Old or New Testament. I look at both of them. And so, and it says to love your neighbor. When you love your neighbor, you don't covet, you don't murder, you don't bear false witness if you love your neighbor. And it says to love everyone. And what I find interesting is if they're claiming to follow the Old Testament, then why are they not doing the sacrifices? Clearly in the Old Testament it says to sacrifice for sins and for all kinds of different things, to do almsgivings and to do first fruits and to do all these sacrifices. I have not seen one Jew out there that has done this, and they're claiming that we don't follow it. Well, they don't either. There's things that the Jews do that are against their own word. Also, they're claiming that the Jews came from a different place than the Gentiles. That's wrong too. We both believe that Adam and Eve were the first people on this world, and everyone descended from those two people. There were no other people on this world. So there's no way that Gentiles could come from a different group of people. And also, when God came and obliterated this world in Noah's time, it was Noah, his wife, and his 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, and they had wives. And so everyone that is on this world came from those people. And that would be Jews and Gentiles, wouldn't it? Amazing how that's true. It is true, though, that God specifically used Jacob and the 12 tribes of Israel to do his will. And he said that my line will come from the line of David, which is exactly what the Jews believed, and that's what we believe. And Yeshua, or Jesus Christ, came from the line of David and fulfilled many prophecies. And just like all these other false religions, I mean, the Jews are claiming that he was just a prophet, or he was the son of Lucifer. And I found out yesterday that Mormonism is wrong too. And guess who made it? Joseph Smith was a Freemason. Freemason drinks blood and does divination and all this other stuff, and does things that are majorly against the Bible. It says that Jesus and the devil were brothers, which is completely crap. It also says in the Mormon Bible that that no one will go to hell. And clearly, if you read the Bible in its entirety, Old and New Testament, it speaks of Gehenna, which is the hell. It also speaks of Sheol, which is hell. It talks of Hades. And I'm finding a lot more videos lately that it's like, oh, well, this one word isn't, being gay is not in the Bible. It's like, well, it does speak of homosexuality. It does say that man will go against man. So what other points of Gentile and Jew? And also, I mean, Yeshua was a Jew. And what I find really interesting is there's an act coming about right now where we can't talk of the death of someone, Yeshua, because that would mean that the Jews are guilty of that, and that's anti-Semitism. So that is going to be barred in the near future if it goes through. When they're the ones that did it, they're trying to bury the evidence that Yeshua died and came to this world, because what's going to happen is the Antichrist is going to come. He's going to claim that I'm God, and then when he doesn't fulfill everything and they realize that he can't bring people back from the dead, the Jews are going to realize, oh, we messed up, and they're going to turn from him and go, why did we believe this? Why did we not believe in the one true God? When the answers are right in front of their face. So this is all Bible prophecy. And then Peter was told in a dream about unclean animals and how to eat unclean animals, and it was in reference to the Gentiles, to not say that they're any different than the Jews. And Peter himself, who was a Jew, was called out by Yeshua in a dream, or it may have been God the Father, but it was a dream, and he was told to not call them unclean. And also, Jews, was it Abraham or Moses, was told that there was going to be a sign, and it was the sign of circumcision that was that would make a Jew and make them different than everyone around. And I know many supposed Gentiles, which are Christians, that are circumcised, including myself. I didn't know my heritage until recently, but it says that but I grew up in the church, and so I'm Christian, and I was baptized at a very, very early age, and it was redone along the way. So I do have that, and then I found out, but yes, and I have sought the feast of the Bible, because it says that it's a lasting covenant between me and you to do my feasts. And Christianity and these so-called pastors and whatever who are false prophets, I've not heard one true pastor speak up against the modern day church, except for those people who are on the outskirts of it, like myself. But I follow the feast just like the Jews do. I follow their customs as much as I can, and try to look at the Old and New Testament and to see what is relevant. And I'm finding no distinction between Jew and Gentile, other than the Jewish people were blessed by God himself. So there was another point that just came to my mind. I can't remember what it was. they're claiming that, oh, well, we're not sinful and we don't break the law and all that. No, there was another, it was claiming that, this was the point. There was an article that I read last night, and they're claiming that that Christians keep falling away from the faith, that it's Jews that keep bringing them back, and that Jews don't fall away from the faith once they're there. If you look at the Old Testament, how many times did the Jews fall away? How many times did they worship the golden calf in Moses' time? Many. And there was a certain Jew that came to the forefront and led them. Like Moses, when Moses left and went up Mount Sinai, they turned to a golden calf. There's many people in Judges and Chronicles and all these others where the Jews fell away because there was a certain someone who was righteous and good in the eyes, and then they fell away. So they have no grounds to stand on. There were certain because what happened is you'd have a very righteous person, and then they would lead the Jews, and then they would die, and then another person would come along, but they continually kept falling away and falling into sin. So that point was made in the paper as well, claiming that Christians always fell away and fell into sin. Well, they did too. We're human, and we have a sin nature among us because of Adam and Eve. We still have that problem. It's like we fall into sin and we fall into this world, and God says to crush the flesh and to not want things of this world, but to want things of heaven. But yeah, I just wanted to show. It's May and there's snow on the mountains. There was a mighty storm that came last night, and it's still, as you can tell, we're still under it. Cloudy out here is not normal. But yes, so we are all under the blood covenants and everything of Yeshua and God the Father, Yod-Heh, Vav-Heh, which is God the Father, and we try to do our best. And yes, Yeshua or Jesus was the sacrificial lamb, and he fulfilled the sacrifice in atoning for sins, and that was his main role. And the Holy of Holies was kind of obliterated and the veil torn when he died. But the Jews are not following their own covenants and their own stuff. So there's still pieces of the Old Testament that they don't even follow, and they're claiming that that Christians are worse. It's like we're no better, no worse than they are. So, but yes, we are all one people. We are all one people under God, and that's what God says. It's like there is no Jew or Gentile. It's like we all have one flesh and one blood. We all come from heaven. Our soul is attached to God the Father. So, I mean, the difference is the Jews kept the law and were highly blessed and highly favored by God, and there were many different groups that were cursed by God, like the Canaanites and the Samaritans and all these other people were cursed by God because they fell away because of, like, Cain, what was the other one? Esau was another line that was cursed. And I guess, I don't know, I should bring this up too. I find it very interesting on the news and everywhere else that there are people that are claiming to free Palestine. It's like, free Palestine from what? If you look at a map, if you're on this group, if you would look at a map, the only people being suppressed and their land being taken from them is Israel. The people of Palestine, what is it that we need to free them from? Because they are free. If you would look at a map, they have Iraq and Syria and Lebanon and just about they have the entire Middle East and Northern Africa. Israel is fighting for their life because they're being attacked on every side, and it's kind of ridiculous that they're saying free Palestine. Palestine is free. The people that are actually being suppressed and trying to be blown off the map are Israelites that are in Israel. So if you join this group, just realize that that you're saying stuff that is not even remotely accurate. They're already free. They already have land, and the reason why they want this, they want the Israel land because they claim that it's more sacred and that the Israelites have taken the land. Well, I mean, in the, way back when Israel, that whole entire region from the Red Sea and all of that was given to the Israelites by God Himself in Moses' time, and over time they lost that land, and then it was recovered 70 something years ago when the land of Israel was given back to them. Sorry. So yeah. But I love my Jewish brothers and sisters, and this is not to go against them. This is to get you to realize the truth about Jew and Gentile. It's like we are all one people. We all came from the same lineage and lines. We all have God in us. Our soul is from God Himself, and we need to come together as a body of God. I mean, it's like, okay, if there's Jew and Gentile and we all go to heaven, I'm curious, do Jews think that you're going to go to a different heaven than Christians? Do you think that we're not going to reside together? I don't see that in the Bible, do you? When I read the Bible, Old or New Testament, I don't see that we're separated because of whatever. What I do see the separation is the wheat and the tares, but that's the tares refer to the devil's people in different groups being put in amongst us to try to get us all off the path. So I thank you for joining me. And this is not to bash or go against anyone. I'm just trying to bring relevant truths, and you can look all this stuff up in the Bible. I don't know. I'm just trying to do the right thing. But have a great day. God bless you. But yes, we are all one people, and we are all we need to come together because the devil has pitted us against each other, and we need to do away with this and come together as a body of God.